Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, the persuasive, the vivacious, the extraordinary Dr. Yukon Suckit. Yes, thank you. Yukon Suckit. Word to your mother. So I am broadcasting to you from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you another deck off of Magic GG's premium mythic list of standard decks. This one tonight is a SIMIC deck. Thus, I have titled it PM SIMIC for Premium Mythic SIMIC. SIMIC because the cards are blue and green, and those are the colors of the SIMIC Guild of Ravnica. So this deck, as far as I can tell, if we take a look at it here, is ramp. Up at the end, we've got super awesome, expensive dudes doing weird stuff. And at the top, the very tip top here, is the twist that makes it interesting. Glasspool Mimic, which we've seen recently, and I think Mirrorhall Mimic was in the other deck as well. So basically, it's the copy cards. The ones that say, yeah, this one here says copy something that's in the battlefield, and this one says copy something you control. But anyways, so depending upon the situation, this guy's going to be more flexible. But you've got guys to copy, and it'll be cool. So I'm hoping that we will be able to copy, like specifically, either the Titan of Industry or the Cyclone Summoner, and that copying again and again and again is going to be way more than what your opponent can stand up to. So let's take a look at the cards, and then we'll take it out in the track and see how well it does. At the low end, we've got Fading Hope, one of my favorite cards that bounces it bounces a target creature to its owner's hand. And if its mana value is 3 or less, you scry 1. So if you use it aggressively against your opponent's creature, then it's out of the way. If you use it on your own, a lot of times you do it to rescue your guy, so that way you can recast him again. We got Neverwinter Dryad. This is part of the ramping. So it costs you 1 to put it out. It's a 1/1. You can attack with it. If and when you have 2 mana, without having to tap it, all you have to do is sacrifices. You can sacrifice the Dryad, pay the 2 mana, at which point you can go get a basic forest out of your library and put it into the battlefield tapped. And so it gets you an extra land on a turn, getting it out early and fast, right? Which is what's important here. Prosperous Innkeeper, also a great green mana ramp. Because when he comes out, he puts out a treasure token. So it's not a permanent mana, but it is a shot in the arm. He's like steroids there, right? Short term. But then any other creature that comes out after him, that you get an additional life. So basically, he's there to provide tempo, to keep you alive that much longer, and to kind of speed up the game for you in a single shot. We got Shigeki, the Jukai Visionary, who is a snake druid. He costs you 2, and he's a 1/3, so he can actually do some defense there with his big old snaky butt. You could pay to tap him to return him to your hand. You reveal the top 4 cards of your library, and you can put a land card from amongst them into the battlefield tap. So that's getting that extra land out that you don't need it. There's a bit of a turn there because you have to play him 1 turn, and then on the next turn you can actually tap him to use that ability. So, but still, from that point forward, you kind of got that whole thing going on, where you can kind of put him out and then return him, because after you return him to your hand, you can technically play him again. Let's see. And it says it doesn't come to play tap. Oh, it does come to play tap. Yes, so I was going to say, you could use the mana you just put in play to help pay for him. The other thing that's great about him is that you can discard him from your hand to return a certain amount of non-legendary cards from your graveyard to your hand. And we'll see those cards later on that are important to bring back. We got the Glasspool Mimic. So this guy is a land. If you need a land, you can play him as a land. But if you don't, it costs you 3, and you can put him out, and he becomes a copy of a creature you control. We'll see those guys later on. Because the big thing I was saying about this guy is that, let's just say you have these guys in your hand, but you got these guys in your graveyard. Then the deal is that you'll need to be able to pull these guys back, play them, so you have something decent for your Glasspool Mimic to actually mimic. Field Trip. So the Field Trip is, you're also some search your library for basic forest, put it into the battlefield tapped and shuffle, but you get to learn, which gives us access to our sideboard, where we have Environmental Sciences ×2, Teaching of the Archaics, which allows you, if your opponent has more cards in their hand, then you get to draw cards, essentially. Basic Conjuration, take a look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from amongst them, put it into your hand, put the rest of the bottom of your library, and you gain 3 life. Containment Breach, destroy target artifact or enchantment. If its mana value is 2 or less, you create a 1/1 black and green pest token where when it dies, you gain a life. Introduction from Prophecy will allow you to scry 2 and draw a card, and Introduction to Annihilation will exile target non-land permanent, and its controller gets to draw a card. So those are the things you could potentially choose from by using a field trip. Now, you've only got 2 field trips, which means you can only pick 2 lessons. We got Topiary Stomper. So this is ramp again, because essentially pay 3, you get a land. It doesn't even have to be a forest. It could be your swamp, right? It just has to be a basic land card. And once you get up to 7 mana, then he becomes a 4/4 vigilant creature. That's pretty much all there is. There's a lot of words on there, and I just told you exactly what it is. Because up until that point, he's just a dude sitting out there, not attacking or blocking. And we don't really have anything to do with him. Like, I've seen somebody use Blizzard Brawl with him, Blizzard Brawl, and that works great because, he's not attacking or blocking. You can use his 4/4 in that case to do something. You always fling him at somebody too. That'd work out fine. But we don't have anything like that. So this guy's essentially just a useless guy who stands there doing nothing up until he gets 7 mana. The good news is they're racing to 7 as quickly as possible. So this isn't too bad. Mirrorhall Mimic. He comes out for 4. You get to make a copy of any creature on the battlefield. And then when it dies, you can pay 3 to return it back from the graveyard to enchant a creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, you create a token that's a copy of the enchanted creature. And that's it. And so then it keeps creating copies. Apparently, they don't destroy themselves when they're done. Wow, that is pretty fantastic. That is pretty fantastic. Because I would love, Cyclone Summon like every freaking turn. That would be fantastic. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, Memory Deluge. So Memory Deluge is, you pay 4, you look at the top 4 cards of your library, and then you get to pick 2 of them and put them into your hand, the rest go on the bottom of your library. At that point, you can play 7 to look at the top 7 cards of your library, at which point you take 2 out of them, put them back into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library. So it's a great way of trying to find the things you're looking for. Here is Quandrix Cultivator, who for 4 is a 3/4, and when he comes into play, you can search for a basic forest or island and put it into the battlefield. So as you can see, ramp, and it's kind of nice that after the ramp, you got a little something left over. You got a 3/4. In this case, you got a 4/4, but this guy can't do anything until you have 7 lands. So this guy as a 3/4 is usually a better early game dude to put out than this guy, even though he's 1 more. Just because this guy can't do anything until 7. All right, now we get to what the deck wants to do. Cyclone Summoner. So when he enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, you return all permanents to their owner's hands except for giants, wizards, and lands. So you put this guy out, pretty much all other stuff, enchantments, treasures, artifacts, all that stuff returns back to their hands, and you got a 7/7. Unfortunately, he does not have trample or haste. That's what he doesn't have. But if you were to play another Cyclone Summoner on the next turn, or Mirrorhall Mimic happens to copy the Cyclone Summoner, then he'll create another Cyclone Summoner, which is another 7/7, which will clear the board of everything, mostly, except for Cyclone Summoner, the guy that was out there before. And so guess what? He gets to just march in with 7 life, or 7 toughness, or power, I should say, and do 7 points of damage with nobody being able to block against him. And then on the next turn, you'll be able to do again, except you'll have 2 giants out there who are waiting and can just go in and do whatever they want. So these guys, one after another, just like New Orleans getting hit by hurricane after hurricane, they cannot withstand the ongoing pressure that it can provide. Now we get run across Titan of Industry. This is another guy that just is begging out to be copied like crazy. Because every time he enters the battlefield, you get to pick 2 of his abilities. And by itself, those are great abilities. Because it's destroy target artifact or enchantment, target player gains 5 life, create a 4/4 Rhino token, or put a power or a shield counter on a creature you control. And then he's also a 7/7 Reach Trampler. So it's just a fantastic thing. And if you keep creating those one after another by copying them with your mimics and your your other, is there, how many are in there? Just one Mirrorhall Mimic? That's crazy. I mean, why isn't there 8 of those things? Oh well. Hopefully the balance will be right. But yeah, if you can just keep creating copies of these things, fantastic, right? So this is not a creature. It is a land. But if you pay a sorcery price, which costs you 7, you can take a look at the top 7 cards of your library. You can put a creature card from amongst them into the battlefield. And if that card has a mana value of 3 or less, you put an additional +1/+1 counters on it. So, you know, the kind of things you could grab would be a Cyclone Summoner or a Titan of Industry. Because if you grab those, you get all of their enter the battlefield effects, which are fantastic, right? But the rest of them will pretty much just get you a land. The other one that'd be great to get back would be either of the 2 copy dudes. And because they'd get plus, well, this guy would get a plus. You get a bunch of pluses as well as being a copy of something awesome. Lastly, in the non-land category, we got Colossal Skyturtle. Now, he's a flying warded 6/5, which is great. The problem is his other abilities are way cheaper and probably more useful, so you usually end up using him for those. His 3 thing is you get to return a target card from your graveyard to your hand, and for 2 mana, you can bounce a creature back to its owner's hand. At the right times, those are way more important to you than getting a flying warded 6/5. So good luck. See how you like it, right? He's also a good one to copy. You don't get the abilities, but man, flying 6/5s with ward, a bunch of those, that would be rough to stand against, right? All right, in the land category, we've got 2 man lands. We got some basic lands. We got 2 Kamigawa lands, one that disenchants and one that bounces. We got some fast dual lands, and we've got some semi-fast dual lands, as well as we've already talked about all of the lessons. So that's what's in the deck. Let's take it out and see how well it does. All right, playing against Guhnat, I guess. 1, 2. There's a third. Oh, we got a bunch of these dudes. That'll be fine. Dude, we have the speed to overcome a Boros deck at this moment. If I could Glasspool Mimic my way into a Titan of Industry, I could bounce Bant and a little stupid ass dude like that. No attacks. Unfortunately, I got to take the damage while I pop their heads. Oh, I'm going at this a slow way. Alright, we got to speed this stuff up, unfortunately. We're up to 4. No attacks. Do as you will. No blocks. Another Titan of Industry. Okay, yeah, we have to just go to crazy town, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it's coming in tapped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be number 6. This can be 7. And I can't do anything. I just need 1 more mana. It'd be really cool if I could just pull it, unfortunately. This guy's kind of low. Is he going to go after my Never? No, he can't. Who would care about that? He doesn't know that Neverwinter Dryad is my lifeline at the moment. Because really, I mean, that extra mana unlocks the Topiary Stomper. And it gives me access to the Titans of Industry. Suck it up. No blocks. All right, there's our last mana. I now don't need the Neverwinter Dryad. Let's put out Titan of Industry. We're going to... Do I care about any of that stuff? Put out the Rhino. And that thing has a shield on it. So let's just put a shield counter on the Titan of Industry. See if you can exile his way around this thing. All right, send in the Stomper. Let's go after the Planeswalker. All right, well, I can kill any equipment he puts out. I'm going to murder Elspeth on my next turn. Flying's not going to help you here. Nope. All right, I see. So now if I block with the Titan dies. But, no, that's cool. Let's try it out. Let's see what the shield does for me there. All right, so at this time I shall... there you go. You two up the middle. Let's take it. And I'm going to go ahead and we'll take out another Titan of Industry, at which point we shall destroy an artifact and scare this guy away from the game. Victory! Alright, playing against Burnt Mountain. Hello, Burnt Mountain. I am Dr. Yukon Suckit. I am the destroyer of worlds. Alright, can we have a faster mana pool than we did last time? Alright, we're going to need 2 blue. I think these guys can get us some islands. I know that's one right there. So let's just play with the green for the moment. We got double green. We'll play all that. I know Titan of Industry takes 3 green. I'm going to go ahead and blue up just to make sure. We'll pull this out and we'll go get ourselves a forest. All right, so I can just go ahead and pop this out. Giving us 5. Putting this guy out will give us a dude that can actually block. And 6. Topiary Stomper will give us 7. This guy is really light on the mana at the moment, which is fantastic. 4-3, huh? Yeah, all right. Have a good time. And here we go. I don't need that many blue. We got plenty of blue. All right, let's start off with a little Cyclone Summoning. Should have gone in for the attack first. What an idiot. All right, so the question is, what can this guy do? Because if he just puts out a guy that's just going to chump, I can wait another turn. Voice of the Blessed before I start bouncing things back. He doesn't want to give that thing up. Oh, that's the devil. All right, well, then we will... He's got Exile in his hand. This isn't going to be too handy. What is that thing anyway? It's just a Spirit Cleric. All right, that's fine. Yeah, the big problem is all those dudes are cheap, meaning he can place out the Voice of the Blessed, Gala Greeter, Layman Archives, just get his Voice of the Blessed ramped up pretty quickly there. All right, let's just go to town here. All right, pay the price. Pay the price. All right, and let's go see what I can pull. Another Cyclone Summoner. That sounds good. And... Quandrix, really? That's life gain, I guess. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this guy out. Just so I can have a little bit of some sort of defense going on here. Two Cyclone Summoners should probably finish off the game well enough. I just got to leave the Titan doing what the Titan does best for a little bit. That'd be great if he gets out a bunch of Legion Angels. You're going to sack your guys to kill off my Titan Angel. My Titan, that's the thing. Your entire engine there. Yeah, I'm going to have to soften them up. I'm going to go for it like a crazy man. Here we go. Go for it, you crazy, beautiful bastards. All right, who are you going to sacrifice? I got Tramposaurus Rex. You could swarm on him. Swarm. But he still has a shield. There you go. There's a quick kill. You're going to let the Titan of Industry through, huh? All right, got him down to 6. Cyclone! All right, he thinks, that's not so bad. Oh, he does think it's so bad. Victory! And we're playing against Blackula. Blackula. All right, we've got 2 mana. We have to give up the Glasspool for it. I'll keep it. I think we can grow. Start off with the slowest. All right, here's 2. Putting out the Dryad. And we are done. He wants to kill it so bad. He's like, but it's just a 1/1. And all it does is get him land. He's going for it anyway. They're wasted. Well, like that. That's a good draw. Green, Topiary Stomper. That'll get us a nice island. We're up to 4. He wants to kill. Here we go. Here's number 5. And 6. One more and we're in business. All right, close enough. Pull ourselves a land, put it into play, and we will do some soul searching here, potentially. Nice. All the dudes are really cheap, but he only has 3 mana. Can you cast everything again for 3? Nope. Most of it, though. Alright, let's play it hardcore. Here we go. Here we go for another cartoon. How did that guy live through it? He's a wizard? That's right. He's a wizard, Harry. Let's see if he can hold up against the continual destruction. I will throw this guy out. Make a copy. Shoot in for 1. You gonna take it or not? Nope, you want your guy to live. You're gonna love it next turn. Next turn I'll just bounce him back. He's not going for the creature kill. That's a really good sign. Oh no, death touch. I think he's feeling pretty impressed with himself. Jeez, this deck is wanting me to win. This is ridiculous. Good game! Victory! Alright, so here we are with Premium Mythic Simic. And another great deck from Simic. It's amazing. So once again, we've got the copy guys in here. We got Glasspool Mimic and Mirrorhall Mimic. And but and this one says they can copy any creature on the battlefield. This one says it has to be a creature you control. But the thing in this one, it's the Cyclone Summoner. And I love Cyclone Summoner. The fact that I'm going to be copying him, because what's really disappointing is that if you're playing with a bunch of giants and you put out Cyclone Summoner, it's fantastic. But when you're playing with no giants other than Cyclone Summoner, all you did was buy yourself a turn. All they're going to do is be throwing their dudes back out there. And if they got cheap dudes, it costs them, there's nothing to it, right? And there's a lot of that going on right now. But if you have 2 Cyclone Summoners, if you have 3 Cyclone Summoners, if you've got dudes that can copy Cyclone Summoners, then this becomes an almost unbeatable path forward. I mean, they have to wipe your guys out, essentially, each time you put it out there so that you can't copy it. Because Cyclone Summoner after Cyclone after Cyclone, they have no ability to keep themselves going, but the giants stay, and they just march through. And at 7 points a hit, it is devastating. Devastating, right? So, who was the hero of this deck? Believe it or not, Neverwinter Dryad. I had so much wrapped up in that little jerk. I mean, she's just sitting there. I'm a 1/1 for 1. But you're saving up your 2 mana just so you can pop her head and go get a force, because this deck demands 7 mana. Everything from this point over to the right takes 7 mana. You don't want to play your Mirrorhall Mimic until you got something good out, but it's 7, 7, 7, 7. Let's see. And Topiary Stomper can't do anything until you have 7 lands. So it's just ridiculous how all the good stuff is 7. So it's just ramp. Ramp! You're just ramping as quickly as possible. Prosperous Innkeeper, Neverwinter Dryad, Shigeki, Quandrix Cultivator, Field Trip, Topiary Stompers. Ramp, 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 ramp. Like crazy. But then again, Titan of Industry, double up Titan of Industry, Glasspool Mimic, Titan of Industry. That is hard to go against. I mean, they got board wipes, then it gets wiped out. But you got Colossal Skyturtle, which will return a card from your graveyard to your hand. You've got Jukai Visionary, who returns non-land cards from your graveyard to your hand. So we got lots of graveyard recursion that's going to help you. It was only just one of him? Wow. And only one of him. Okay, not lots. We got 2 cards with graveyard recursion that's going to help you out. It's funny. I got Colossal Skyturtle every time I played. I assumed there was 4 of them in there. Apparently there's just one. Just one. Yeah. So anyways, it's kind of a scary deck, but you can get to that 7 almost always. There's only 1 game I lost because I couldn't get the mana. It's just, it came out in the slowest way possible. The slowest way possible. And that's why we lost. That's why we lost at that game. But most of the time, you're able to get to your ramp. You're able to get out there and be hitting for 7 or your 7 stuff by turn 5 or something. At that point, you start taking aggressive control of the game. And the tricks you can play with the mimics are fantastic. So let's rate this deck then. Okay, I picked it up off of the Premium Mythic. Therefore, I would already rate it as being competitive, right? And I got to tell you, in my gameplay with it, I was pretty much assuming I was going to win every game I was playing, because it was few and far between that I lost anything. It was this deck regularly wins. So yes, this is definitely a competitive deck. Number 2, was it fun? Yes, it was super fun. I loved dropping the Cyclone bombs one after the other. Fantastic. I loved using the mimics to copy things. Loved it like crazy. I liked the fact that I didn't really care about Topiary Stomper or Quandrix. I mean, after I put them out, they were just, was it grist for the mill? That's what they are. They're just grist for the mill. You don't care. They can take the hit. As long as they're taking somebody out, I was cool with it, because what mattered was getting to those 7s. Those are the guys that I cared about. Lastly, is there a theme? No, there's no theme here. I mean, it's strongly SIMIC, right? To me, because, I mean, SIMIC is about what? It's about rapid land growth and creature enhancement. There's no creature enhancement going on here, but it is rapid land growth ramp, jumping into some big ass bad boys and the ability to copy them like crazy. So not much of a theme, but definitely fun. So anyways, this deck is superly competitive, incredibly fun, just not theming it. So I can only give this thing an A, a big old flat A, not a minus, not a plus, but an A deck that is well worth playing. So if you end up playing this deck, I am certain that you will enjoy it as much as I do. All right, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Later.